Good afternoon and welcome to season 2, episode 22, Cattle Drive Live. And tonight I'm joined by my friend Amy Cowan. How are you, Amy?
I'm good, Brett. Thanks for having me be a part of this tonight. I've been looking forward to it all day.
Oh, great, great. I know with Corey being out, I had to have somebody. I didn't have to have somebody. I wanted to have somebody on here, a guest each week while he's healing up. And I don't know. I was on the phone this week with somebody in Hereford, and it just clicked. Hey, when we first started this endeavor with Cattle Drive Live, it was in Louisville last fall, and I walked in to maybe hydrate myself one evening, and the first thing I heard was Amy Cowan say, "What? Say it for me, just once."
Cattle Drive Live.
Yeah, from across the room, I knew right then I had at least one fan, and I had a good one at that. So. Amy, thanks for agreeing to be on here. So tell us real quick what's going on at Hereford right now.
Well, we've got a lot going on. It's sure a fun season for all of us in these junior departments. We're kind of late with our junior national this year. We've still got a couple weeks to go, but we are definitely coming down the home stretch for the Junior National Hereford Expo. So we are busy. Tomorrow, our ambassador team, our interns arrive. They'll spend the month of July with us. So lots going on, and it's exciting. We'll head to Louisville next Tuesday, so a week from today. So definitely in the final stretch. And I've got to give a shout out to my crew there in the office. I had to take off and get ready for this tonight, and they're still working, getting ready for those interns to get there. So I couldn't do it without Bailey and Chloe and our intern Hannah Hawksworth from California. We've got a good crew, and we are sure excited to have everybody in the Bluegrass State here. Everybody will arrive in Louisville on the 16th. So
right. So all things Hereford.
It's been fun to watch all of the rest of the shows, as they have taken place. I try to catch as much as I can online, but it is fun to watch. We've got some awesome events that a lot of people work really hard to put together, and it's just fun to see it all come to fruition here this summer.
That's good. The you and Bailey have a Junior Hereford show. It's a podcast. It's all things Hereford, so it's pretty informative. Those folks that are going to the show, National Junior Hereford Expo, if you want to learn something about what's going on, Bailey and you do this. Amy, where do you find this podcast to get caught up on?
Yes, you can download the Junior Hereford Show on basically anywhere you watch your podcasts. So we started this right around the first of the year, and have been trying to do 2 a month. So this one just focuses on all things Junior National, and we kind of tailored it to the state advisors, but all of the exhibitors and their families can take a listen, and hopefully you'll find some good information as you pack your trailers and get ready to make the trip to Louisville.
Oh, absolutely. Good stuff. So, hey, let's dive right into this week's segment 1. It's always the coffee shop, and update from Corey this week. I'm going to read this. Says, as an update, he said, I'm coming back around after surgery. Tell everyone thank you for their thoughts and prayers. The number of people that randomly check on me throughout the day has been awesome. So he has done well. Surgery last week, and word on the street is he's going to sort an Angus steer show maybe later in the week if he feels good. So that tells me that either he's hard up to judge a steer show or he really is feeling good. And I don't know which one it is. So, but those of you that wondered about him, he's doing good. So, hey, some heartbreaking news happened this week in Oklahoma, especially in your world, Amy, with the Hereford world. Tell us just a little bit about what went on with the Curry family this week.
Yeah, we lost a very dear friend of the Hereford breed, and they're in Oklahoma, Donna Curry. Just haven't been able to get her family off my mind the last, it's been a couple weeks. She had a real sudden brain aneurysm, and today was her memorial service. So definitely thinking about Curtis and that whole Curry family. They are definitely in our thoughts and prayers. When sadness and tragedy strike, this industry is pretty cool how they rally together. And I just saw a post on my Facebook. I know there's a group, Colton Pratt's and Austin Perry are putting together a sale that will generate proceeds for a scholarship fund in Donna's name. She was all about youth and the junior programs on a national level. She served many years on the National Hereford Women's Board, so I got to work with her in that capacity for several years, and very active in Oklahoma Junior Hereford Association. So this is just really neat and really fitting that they are going to rally the troops and put together a sale. The sale will take place online, and it's going to close the 19th, I believe, of July during our Junior Nationals. And their goal is to raise $50,000 and endow a scholarship in Donna's memory. And I bet they'll get that done, and that'll be pretty neat to honor her memory through a scholarship through the Hereford Youth Foundation of America.
You bet. Yeah. And so those of you listening, if you have some genetics that you'd like to offer, whether that be semen or embryos, maybe a flush on a cow, it doesn't really even have to be that. I've been told that there's some hunts involved and some fishing trips and things like that. If you have something of value to help this scholarship along, get a hold of Colton Pratt's. Randy Bacon's involved, I know. So I imagine they could get a hold of you as well, Amy. It's
Sure, I'll put them in touch with who they need to talk to, and I know that they've got a lot of exciting things getting generated right now for that sale.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, this week wrapped up the limousine and the Simmentals this past week. Later on, we're going to get to hear from some exhibitors from those, and possibly a judge or two if we can keep them wrapped up long enough. Visit with those two yahoos here in a minute. This week is Angus being held in Kansas City, right in your back door, Amy. And so Junior Nationals is continuing on through the summer, breed by breed and location by location. But there's something else I want to tell folks about. There's two podcasts that are very unique. One of them being the Hereford podcast, 1881. And this week, you guys sit and visit with the Hereford Association, sits and visits with the crew at ST and the crew at Gen X, and you can get the history of artificial insemination as well as semen collection from those. And there's been something unique happened this week with ST Genetics. Is that right, Amy?
Yes, ST has stepped up. They're kind of a new partner for us with the Junior National and the American Hereford Association. We're excited. They have committed to a percentage of their proceeds from any Hereford semen sales that are made through ST Genetics during the week of Junior Nationals will kick back to the Hereford Youth Foundation. So we're excited. We've got a lot of great partners, and ST Genetics is just one of those. And we are excited about this new partnership and the fact that anybody that purchases Hereford semen during the week of Junior Nationals, a percentage will go back to HIPAA.
That is good. Congratulations to you guys for getting that done. And thank you to ST for seeing value and helping this junior organization. So another podcast of interest, those of you traveling, the Genuine JBH podcast. There's that guy, Brad Hook. Probably most people probably know him as Drake and Sage's dad. He does do a little bit of photography and video work on the side of probably all the big shots, I guess. I like to give him a hard time. He had a promotion bull one time. What was that bull's name? Everybody talked like Heat Seeker or something. No, all jokes aside. No, Brad's a big name guy, a great guy. He's got a podcast, The Genuine JBH. He has started a series dealing with the 1980s farm crisis. And the first one was his dad. I think his dad's 84. And he goes through and lets those guys recreate what went on in that time. If you have not listened to it, it's an hour and something long. It's worth your time while you're driving. But shout out to Brad. That's a great piece of agricultural history we don't need to lose sight of. So he said he was planning on 2 or 3 more. So the Genuine JBH, it's Farm Crisis series. So that's about all we got there. on the news for the week, herd report, still not very many sales going on. Colonel Bonham, we'll talk to him in a minute. I bet he's ready for that little season to fire back up. But for those of you excited about booking your sales this fall, speak to cci.live, get a hold of Christy, talk to Shane Van Zant, 405-245-2267. They have live on lines. These guys are all around sale management. You can view those sales there. You can bid online through cci.live. So get on the books with Shane for this fall. So, hey, Amy, before we get into this meat and potatoes, I'd like just a second to bring in one of our yearly sponsors tonight. It's Brock May with May Cattle Company in Wisconsin. Hi, Brock.
Guys, how's it going this evening?
Good. We're getting along just fine. The attractiveness of Cattle Drive Live sure stepped up a notch tonight when we brought Amy on. Would you agree?
Yeah, she's way cuter than Corey, for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. You bet. Hey, Brock, tell us what's going on in Mineral Point right now. You guys are getting towards the tail end of breeding season, and tell me about this set of bred heifers you guys are fixing to offer.
Yeah, so like everybody else, we've been bouncing around all these junior nationals. Boy, I tell you what, there's been a heck of a set of cattle showing everywhere this year. We just got done watching the semis, and that was impressive as well. Those two guys you got coming on here later, not boys, men, they did one heck of a job there sorting that show. These bred heifers that I sent in the video of here, they're about half Angus, half Sim Angus. A little bit of everything sprinkled throughout there. There's a couple county O's that are pretty darn nice. But anyways, they're bred to sex to Marvel and Lover Boy. The Angus are bred to Marvel. Simmies are bred to Lover Boy. We brought them in March 27th. We freeze branded them, bred them, sheared them off, and we put a little grease back on them, and they look pretty nice. They're ready to sell. So that video footage is pretty recent. We think they're stout. They're just a really uniform set of cattle. They're good structured, good legged, good bodied, moderate frame, stout. I think they'll make some real good cows down the road. So we're about ready to sell those. We'll put a Facebook post up here pretty soon, kind of to get some interest generated on them. So other than that, we've just kind of been bouncing.
So these heifers here, they're what's that?
Well, go ahead.
No, these heifers here, they are a result of some past cow purchases and things that you guys have bought and sold and things like that. I mean, tell us a little bit about them. They're not just country cattle. I mean, they've got some pedigree on both sides, don't they?
Yeah, so these breds go back to typically every year we buy a group of cows from Express Ranches there in Yukon, and this group of breds stems from that group of cows, from a group of cows that we bought from Express and sold to a guy there in Ada, Oklahoma. So they go back to some really good cows, and that set of cows is impressive phenotypically and on paper as well. So some good genes there. They're bred back really nice, good phenotype females that I think they're going to make a really stout set of cows for someday. Versatile, I think you can do a little bit of everything with them. So we're pretty excited about those.
Good. So if a guy has interest in these, Brock, just get a hold of yourself or get a hold of your dad. Is that right?
Yeah. Call either Dad or I if you have questions on the group. And like I said, we'll post some more footage and put some more info up on Facebook here within the next few days. Okay. Kind of get some the wheels in motion on them. So
good deal. All right. Well, Brock, thank you so much for being a part of this, and thank you for all that you do. And we'll catch up with you next time.
Well, hey, thanks for having me again, and we'll send our prayers to Corey and hope for a quick recovery, and look forward to the rest of your show this evening. Should be a good one.
Absolutely. Brock, thank you. Good crew right there in Wisconsin. He said they was hauling hay today. I don't know that his dad was doing much of the hauling. He was probably doing more of the driving. So, but hey, episode sponsor this week is the Jim Bloomberg Memorial T-shirts. If you haven't seen these things, I'm telling you, you are missing out. There they are work hard, stay humble, live like Jim, an old school cool Jim Bloomberg style. And so we're going to be fortunate here in a minute to have Sara Sullivan on. She can tell us a little bit more about these shirts, maybe. But those shirts are available strictly at Sullivan Supply. 100% of the proceeds will go to benefit the Jim Bloomberg Scholarship, which I think is really cool. I said it last week and I'll say it again. They've got Jamie style, but they're soft like Blake. And so, like, I really like mine. And so, but no, they're cool shirts. And so, those of you that haven't been on the Junior National Tour just yet, they are available online. They're available at the Junior Nationals. But get yours. It's a really cool deal that the Sullivan family has done to benefit scholarship for such a cool guy.
Very neat. I've seen lots of pictures of them from the different Junior Nationals, and we're excited to get our hands on some in Louisville as well. So really, really neat to honor a really neat guy.
That it is. Well, hey, it's that time of the day. Let's get it ducked in here to this meat and potatoes. And last week we started this. We brought some juniors on and give them some recognition for their wins. And this week we're very fortunate to have Miss Sara Sullivan with us, as well as Ruby Bell is with us tonight. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Well, this is the fun part of the evening, to get to interview some of these outstanding young superstars of the show ring. You guys have had quite a summer. Congratulations to both of you. Sara, you've been on quite a tour. I think by the time it's done, you'll have went to 5 Junior Nationals. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So you started out at which one?
Main and Keys in Louisville.
Okay.
Yep. And then went to Simmy's, Limmy's. I'm at Angus right now, and Hereford's is coming a little later. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So tell us about your, you had a successful run at the limousine show there in Amarillo, Texas. Tell us a little bit about those heifers.
Yeah, that was fun. It was kind of funny. I had to fly in just like overnight because I showed Simmy's the day before, and I just had to get up the next day and show Limmy's. But it was a great day. I started out with Champion Purebred. She was a heifer from Ratliff's, and then I ended the day with Champion Limflex, which was awesome. She was a Division I champion, and that was really cool to have a calf win like that. So I was very fortunate. I had a very good day that day, definitely.
Well, very good. And then you had some success at Simmental as well?
Yes, I had the champion percentage. She's one of my favorite heifers for the year for sure. So that was just an awesome day for me.
Very good. So Sara, tell us a little bit more about yourself. You're in college now. Tell us, give us a little bit background and what you enjoy doing when you're not busy in the show barn and at Junior Nationals.
Yeah, so I'm going to be a sophomore at Oklahoma State this coming fall. I love it there. It's a great school. Ruby, hopefully, is next.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State. Me and her sister are roommates too, so that's really cool.
Oh, very good, very good.
Anyway, so yeah, gonna be a sophomore at OSU. Been doing classes and stuff this summer. I just have been, go in the barn every day, but I've been trying to like take time at home after work to read. Been reading some books, which is new for me, but trying to stay sharp for school.
Very good. I think that's important. So tell us, at the Junior Nationals, you've been to a lot of them and you still have 2 more to go. What's outside of the show ring? I mean, that's obviously a highlight for you, but what's some of your favorite things to do at those Junior Nationals and a favorite memory outside the show ring?
Yeah, so lately I've been hanging out at the new fan shop. We have it's like our apparel trailer now.
Okay.
And that's been really fun because I really haven't hung out much at the supply trailer the past few years, but I kind of learned the system. Like when people come up, I can like scan them out and get the cash register going. And so that's fun. And all the kids always come up to the trailer because we have all the fun stuff. So I've been getting to hang out with a lot of kids and goof around, and it's been really fun to do that. That's been my favorite part besides showing at Junior Nationals, is just getting to see everyone kind of and hang out with the kids, and
I bet you've met a ton of people. That's what's so cool about Junior Nationals, is expanding your network. So Ruby, tell us, how exciting was it to win that Simmental show in Madison?
It was very, very exciting. It's just been me and my family here at the barn this summer, and so just to see all of our hard work pay off, it really means a lot. And that heifer, she's pretty special to me. She's my little baby. So it was just very exciting to see her win.
Well, I bet it was, and the high fives you got at the end of that show was pretty cool to watch. I really enjoyed getting to see that online and watch all the excitement there in Madison. So tell the Cattle Drive Live listeners a little bit of background about yourself, Ruby.
I am from Bristow, Oklahoma. I'll be a junior. I'm 16 years old. I am in FFA. I'm a chapter officer. I'm a cheerleader this year, and I enjoy hanging out with my friends and my family. My heifer is from Lydell Meyer, from Tennessee. She sold in the Conley Spring Production Sale last year as lot 36. And so actually Lydell's son, Andrew, me and him are good buddies, and he told me before the sale that I needed to buy one of his heifers, or he wanted me to, and I was like, okay, well, I'll tell my dad, but whatever. And so I didn't tell my dad, and then he specifically told me that I need to buy lot 36, and so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll get her bought, whatever. And I never told my dad. I was just like, oh, he'll find a good one, Then the next day after the sale, he came home and I said, Dad, what lot did you buy? He said, lot 36. And I said, oh my gosh, that's crazy, because Andrew told me that I needed to buy that one. So, it must just be, it's kind of special that they both told me to buy it. It must have just been meant to be.
Very good. Very good. Well, you definitely picked the right one.
Yeah.
So tell me what you enjoyed. What else besides the show ring you enjoyed at the Simmental Junior Nationals?
I always enjoy livestock judging. So the judging contest is something that I look forward to. And then, playing cornhole just around the barns or at the Sullivan supply trailer. That's always fun, and hanging out with friends. So.
Very good. Very good. So you think you're headed to OSU after high school?
Yep, more than likely.
Well, that's a good choice.
Well, of course she is. There is no other place to go.
That was a dumb question, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Pistol's firing.
Yep, go folks.
Hey, girls, tell me something real quick. What is something that each one of you can go in whichever order. What is something that you could tell us that we don't know about you? What is something you like to do away from show cattle? Tell us something that nobody knows about you.
I am a cheerleader this year. Usually when people see me, they don't think that I'm a cheerleader, but I am a cheerleader this year, and I really love it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
For me, that's a tough question. I feel like my life is like cattle shows, working in the barn, but I don't know. I've been trying to be better about like reading and stuff lately. Like I said that earlier, but I've read 2 books, so not a lot, but it's a start.
So Sara, what's next for you after OSU?
Yeah, I want to. So I'm currently studying ag business, and I definitely know that I want to get into the supply end of things.
Very good.
So, but I definitely want to experience like internships first, and like maybe working at another company first, just to kind of get a different point of view under my wings before I go into Sullivan Supply for the rest of my life. But yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing.
Very good. Awesome. Very good. I've got one more question for both of you. Tell us who one of your mentors is, somebody that's really helped you get to where you are today.
I'd have to say my sister Abby. She, she's always been there for me, and her work ethic. I just see her working all the time and think, oh, like I need to be like her. Her work ethic really rubs off on me, and how selfless she is, and she always looks at the better things in life, and just keeps your head straight. So.
Well, very good. It's fun to follow both of you in the show ring. So that's a pretty good person to look up to.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, ladies, thank you for taking the time to be on here tonight and be with us on Cattle Drive Live. And so good luck this week, Sara. Ruby, good luck to you. I don't know if we'll see you again on a junior national, but I bet we see you at Tulsa State Fair this fall. So
yeah.
But anyway, all right. Congratulations, you two.
Thank you.
Thanks for visiting with us.
Thank you.
What? All right, there we go. All right, here we go.
Right, ladies.
Oh my gosh, they're just incredible young people. You bet. Hey, these next two up here, I don't know about you. One of them, I texted and said, "Is there any chance I could get you just for a minute to visit about judging this show?" And I knew if I could get him, that I might have a chance to snooker in the second one, and it worked. And so fortunately for Cattle Drive fans tonight, we're going to get to visit with Jirl Buck and Steve Bonham, two guys, two industry leaders for sure. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
How y'all?
Where's your Jim Bloomberg hats?
Yeah. Hey, that's a one and only. We're one and done.
So you're not going to bring it out at the Hereford Junior National?
No, but those things are actually pretty comfortable, so I'm not really going to talk too bad about it.
You guys pulled it off well.
Well, I have to give Steve. I'll get started on that, but I have to give Steve credit for that. We were actually eating supper and we were visiting, and we were actually talking about Jim Bloomberg and that the show was to honor him, and we were talking about some of the things he done and just reminiscing a little bit about Jim Bloomberg. And I told Steve, I said, I was kind of thinking, we might do the high five deals, and Jim always made it fun when he was in the ring. And he was somebody that I always looked up to and thought he was just himself. And so Steve whips off. He said, "What about those hats?" He said, "What about we wore those hats?" And I just laughed because if you know Steve Bonham, that's not Steve Bonham. And I said, "I'll wear one if you will." He said, "I'll wear one." So the thing we did the best that I thought, there's multiple things that happened with that, but the thing that worked out, our wives were sitting there, and immediately, of course, they go to shopping and looking, and we both agreed that we would try it. Well, they went shopping the next day and they found these hats.
That was perfect.
So the cool part about it was we didn't tell anybody. There was only 4 people in that building that knew about those hats, and it was our wives and Steve and I. And so our wives had just in a little plastic sack those hats. So after we picked the final division champion, I walked up there and got the sack, and we walked back behind the curtains. And of course, we'd already checked us out, so we knew what we were going to look like. But we had a little preview there in the room one night. But so we were putting our hats on. We had no idea that the Simmental Association was fixing to do an honor or an award or whatever, a presentation to the Bloomberg family. We had no clue of this, and we were getting ready to walk out, and I was like, "What are they doing?" We saw it, and I told Steve, "Is like, let's just hang tight right here." So we just waited behind those curtains, and it couldn't have worked out any more perfect. When we walked out, we just walked out and stood on the corner, and I saw Mary look up, and she punched, said, "Look at Jirl Buck." And it was cool. It was, he was it's not about Steve and I. We 100% did this in honor of Jim, and Jim was a unique guy that was special to the entire industry, but even more so with Simmental breed. I mean, Jim loved Simmental cattle before Simmentals were cool. And well, now Jim was always cool. I can't say that he wasn't always cool, but he was passionate about Simmental breed. There wasn't a better time for that, and it worked out great. I mean, we were just small elements of what went down, but Jim was a special person.
That gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. And I listened to an interview that Jamie and Mary did last night on Showtimes, and this has obviously been a horrible tragedy, but it's because of friends like you guys and this whole community and this cattle community and their Simmental family and their cattle family that's getting them through each day. So what you guys did was pretty awesome.
Well, it definitely worked out. It worked out nice, and like I say, is all honor to him. He would have. I just knowing him. Now he would have got a kick out of it.
Oh, he would have loved it.
He would have got a charge out of it.
He would have loved it.
That made it fun for me, and we talked about that. Of course, we laughed at each other when we put the hats on, but he would have been standing there laughing with us too. It was fun, and it all worked out good. I think the kids enjoyed the high fives, and
oh yeah,
it worked out good for us. And incredible show. My goodness, it was an incredible show.
It looked like it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we didn't. I'm doing all the talking here. I'm going to get Steve turned loose.
You go right on. You go right on.
But
it's like the show.
Steve, and most people probably think we've really visited about this, but we really didn't talk about this show any. And we were sitting at the airport visiting, and Steve said, I just want, when we get finished, the very best ones to win and be the kind that we like. And probably the most interesting thing for me included is most people know that we show a lot of heifers, and I'm more of a heifer guy. Steve is a steer guy. He's a steer guy that sells about 75 head of heifers a year that he doesn't ever publicize very much. But when we got out there and got to looking at the cattle, Steve was more conscious of the females, the maternal looking ones. And I'm sick and tired of a lot of these show heifers right now that don't have enough power and go to them. And I was probably more conscious of them being stouter. And I know that some people on the outside of the ring probably thought that was reverse roles, but that's the way it was all day. And for 2 days, we never disagreed. We had awesome time discussing the cattle with each other. And end of the day, I'm talking now, it started with the cow-calf pairs. We had cow-calf pairs. Both days were incredible. If we'd had a supreme champion, we may still been there trying to figure out what we were going to do, because both the cow-calf pair champions, the low percentage champion was incredible. The high percentage champion was incredible. If we'd had a supreme, it would have. I don't know that I could say which one would have been supreme, but it was amazing.
I still been thinking about that cow-calf pair.
Yeah, I think that pair pretty special. But they were impressive. They really were. And a lot of times you go to a junior national cow-calf pairs, they can be a little bit of a weaker link. They could have thrown those out there on that line. I'm telling you, it would have been tough. But it was fun. It was really fun.
All right. Steve, what was your initial reaction to the phone call or text, knowing JB, of asking you to be a part of judging this summer? What was that initial reaction?
Well, I was blown away by it, to be honest with you. We were somewhere, I can't remember if it was at a sale or where we were at, and Jirl said, I may get you to do something for me. And we just kind of kept visiting back and forth a little bit, and I finally said, well, what is it? He said, I might get you to judge a show with me. And I said, now look, I don't know about that part right there. I said, that's not really in my wheelhouse. And then I said, I want to think about it a little bit. And that's what he said. He said, you need to think about it for a few days. So I thought about it for a few days, and I got back with him about a week later, and I said, I'm in, deal me in. So that's kind of how it all started. But it was an honor, him asking me.
Right. Did either one of you learn anything about the other one sorting through the cattle? I know, Jirl, you answered one of my questions there about you guys having different taste and types of cattle, probably just home base for both of you. But did either one of you learn anything about the other one sorting through those cattle in those 2 days?
I don't think so, and I really don't. I really can't say that we had different tastes in cattle at all. I mean, that's probably. I said that because I feel like most people felt like going into it that he, being the steer guy, was going to want them stouter and more rugged and maybe a little more terminal build. And I think that when we got out there, like I said, we didn't discuss what he knows what kind he likes, and I know what kind I like, and we didn't discuss that at all. And when we got out there, I mean, it went together great. I mean, if somebody could, well, they might not want to hear everything we had to say in between us, but because we had fun with it. I mean, we laughed a lot, and that's something neither one of us ever commented on the microphone, but I was hoping people didn't think we were making fun of anybody, but we had fun when we were out there, and we enjoyed it. But if anybody's ever looked at cattle with Steve Bonham, he likes describing them, and so we would get it. We knew what ones we liked the best. I mean, it was a no-brainer when we got back together. Each time it'd be like, well, we know what 2 or 3. I mean, it was simple for us on that. And then, you say this one's better looking, well, this one's stouter, this one's deeper or whatever. But, the farther we went, the one thing that Steve probably kept us on track with better is there's a lot of times that we would be trying to decide between 2 females, and he'd say, that one's more of what we've been doing. And I want to think that people on the outside watching, I hope that they figured out we had a pattern of a type of female that we wanted, and it might be that this one's not as stout as what we've been going for. This one doesn't have quite that look of what we've been doing, and we separated a lot of cattle that way. And there was, I mean, the one time for sure, but there was multiple times it was like, golly, that one's got to be second. We can't, I mean, we had one that was second that every time she would come back out there, it just seemed like she kept coming back out there. Every time she'd come back out there, he's like, golly, I can't believe we beat that heifer. But we agreed that we needed to beat her to do what we were doing. But they were good. And when the difference with the Simmentals is they do this top 20 deal, and the top 20 is a little bit challenging sometimes, but it also, for judging at a Texas major, to me, it's much like getting in the premium sale. You would think, but without going to the Simmental Junior Nationals, I thought, what kind of honor is it to be 15th or 18th or whatever? But when you hear the stands break out clapping and hollering when you pick the 14th or 15th or the 20th one or whatever, you understand that it does mean something to those young people and to their families to be honored. And, to be in the top 20 of that show, that's a big honor.
Yeah, I bet that does get interesting trying to pull that top 20, but it is a cool honor.
And I felt like we got this little system going. We worked out pretty good because Steve, actually, I was giving him a hard time. I kept telling him he was my picker, but he congratulated selected most of those ones as a win. But one's going and selecting, the other one, I mean, a lot of times it was vice versa. I would be the one that'd go pick, but gives the other guy, with you being 2 of you, gives the other guy a chance to be kind of looking. And it's like, hey, this one out of Division 3 or the one out of Division 5 or whatever, those 2 are the 2 I like the best. And then you kind of get it worked out really good. I thought it went smooth as ever. And the shocker, Brett asked about the difference. The only thing that really surprised me is I feel like Steve is about the fastest person, obviously, with his business. He's about the fastest person at evaluating one. He was fine with taking an extra second to make sure we got the right stuff. And I thought going into it, he might have been more, I like this one and this is it. And once we got out there, I mean, he was very, very, both of us are, but very conscious about we wanted the best ones to win. And I'd say you couldn't hold us down and stick a gun to our throat and make us change our mind today. We were happy with what we had that won. I mean, 110% happy with what won.
A lot of those classes were so competitive, though, that it just took a while to sort through them and make sure that we were on track, because the depth of quality, I was blown away, to be honest with you. I knew it'd be good, but I tell you, it was way better than what I even expected.
Right. So
Jirl's going to be wanting to top 20 at Hereford. I can feel it coming.
You can.
He's going to want a top 20 at Hereford.
He's going to want a top 20 at Hereford.
I don't know if I can keep that all straight.
Hey, that's the challenging part. I can't. Hey, and I'll give them credit though. We didn't wait on cattle, but now they told us like, get 10 out of this division, get 5 out of this division, whatever. But there was some of those classes. It'd be interesting to go back and look at. There was some classes we went like 5 deep in their division. I mean, because there was. Steve was like, why do they do this? We'd have like this class, and there's one particular class of marches that was just smokers. I mean, they were, and they didn't end up winning the show, but I mean, they were great. They were good enough. We didn't know they weren't going to win the show at that time. It was like, hey, these here can win the show. Mm-hmm. And somebody's going to have to be third with a heifer that was quality enough to win the show. So you have to go scratching and digging when you get to that. But I give credit to the people lining them up and having them in there. We didn't wait on cattle. They would get them in there. That's a lot of cattle to have sitting in the micro area.
That is a lot.
It's a lot, but it was fun, and that wasn't as painful. I felt like it might have been a little painful, but that wasn't as painful going into it as what I thought it might be.
I thought it was pretty neat picking that many. Like you said, it gave those kids some recognition, way more than just picking your grand and reserve or grand reserve and third. I mean, like Jirl said, you can't believe how many people were setting up or clapping when you picked the 18th one, just like you'd pick the grand. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty neat.
The guys on Walton webcast were very complimentary of both of you, and the fact that they said there was never a time that somebody could say you guys didn't give everybody equal opportunity and took your time. I thought that was really cool. And you referenced that third place deal, Jirl, and the guy Val, as all I caught of his name on Walton. You guys pulled this heifer in third. He said, shoot, look how good you had to be third today. And so,
it was terrible. And Steve and I, we try to show cattle pretty competitive. Be pretty competitive when we go to a show. So we know what it's like to have one that good that's got to be third. And it's painful. It really is. And then you think if we could just put this one off in another class, she's going to walk away with it. But it was, it was fun that way. That part was really good. That's what makes
so when we
it was fun. And then that's on the second side of that's what makes it fun when you have someone that you trust, their opinion out there with you, and when you break it down that hey, this is what we got to do. It's just the facts. This is how we have to do it, and we enjoyed it, and nobody else would agree with us, but we nailed it in our opinion.
When I let the cat out of the bag that you guys were going to be on here, my text messages fired up with questions for the both of you. Some of them I filtered off.
Boy.
There was one in particular I think is quite interesting, and that is, has either one of you's opinion of being in timeout changed at all?
I think that's directed towards one person.
I
You
just, that was a general question. I don't know that. No,
You know,
that was in all. That's in all fun.
Steve can answer this for himself, but after we finished, he agreed that, the viewpoint, you can judge shows, but when you judge a highly competitive show, it does open your eyes a little bit. We're both, I don't know what you want to call it, confident, arrogant, whatever you want to call it. We're confident enough in what we're doing. We wanted to use the one that was the best one. And I think that's probably something that probably Steve, I'll let him say that, but when you're not put in that position, it's really easy to stand on that rail and think, that ours should have won. And when you're out there, you want to lay down that night and know that you was 100% right. I feel like we was 100% right, so we're good.
I've been on the other side way more than I've ever judged, of course, but I tell you, you might not agree with whoever's out there judging, but if they stick with a type and kind, hey, that's fine. Everybody drives a different kind of pickup. Okay. We all have our likes and dislikes, but if somebody just gets out there and sticks with the same kind in every class, hey, that's fine and dandy. I think you have to respect that. And that's what we tried to do. So, we might not have made everybody happy, but it wasn't for a lack of effort and trying. I can assure you of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys have both shown a lot of champions in your time and been associated with a lot of champions. What's more exciting, getting that champion slap with one you brought to the show, or giving that junior exhibitor the champion high five like you got to do in Madison?
Hell, it's definitely more fun to win. but it is an honor. The Bell girl that won, and nobody will believe this, but I'll say it on the air anyway. I had absolutely zero clue who that girl was. And when we picked her and she pulled off and the tears went to flowing, there's not much feeling like that. I've had that opportunity a few times of selecting those, but and knowing the other side, I think that's a part that some people that judge miss, that they haven't been involved in the other side. Knowing the other side of the rinsing them twice a day and trying to keep everything going all week. All summer long to go there. And just like, we used a senior yearling, and they had to get the heifer bred at the right time. They had to get things. There's so many parts and pieces come together, and I'll elaborate on the one that won, because she is a senior yearling, and those things aren't easy to manage. And I know from experience of how hard it is to have one look fresh and be it that day. So somebody's been working at that for a year and a half for that moment. And when you see somebody that really responds and they're so truly happy to win, it is pretty big thing. But same deal, that goes back to when you want to pick the right one. Because you want to know that the one you selected in your mind was your favorite, because that's who you want. You want those, you want them to be rewarded for the ones that do a good job. But I know a lot of times the one that's in fifth might be the one that worked the hardest, but it is cool when you see, just like say, when you see those tears flowing after you select that
emotion. Yeah.
It's and the families that are excited about that, that they have a full appreciation for your time and effort when you were out there selecting them.
Well, that's good. Well, guys, thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight and answer a few questions and give a little insight on what that was like to work together and work through a junior national the way you did. And Steve, hopefully we get to see you back on that side of the ring at some point. So
You may have started a trend.
No, I don't know about that, but
I think the two-man systems are fun, and
it's
it's
a lot
just
easier. My job behind the mic's way easier what I do on the other side. So.
I think that was the fun part of Steve. You know, I shocked a lot of people when I selected him just because he wasn't a person that has spent a lot of time judging shows. You know, and I said it there at the show, but you know, when you select someone to do a show, judge a show with you, I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that you have to take in account. And, you know, to me, I didn't care if he judged shows or not. I knew that he knew cattle, and I felt like we'd get along good. But he fulfilled everything that you could ask for from an associate judge. And he was a little tough to get rolling in the mornings on some of that stuff. He's like, "Hey, you're doing good. Just keep rolling." But we really, honestly, we had a lot of fun, and I'll say this on here, but you know, Steve's the kind of guy that's all business. When he shows up at a sale, that's his business day, and that's, you know, some producers worked all year long to have that sale, and when he gets there, he's all business. And I felt like it was fun for him on that side that he got to be personable with those kids, and I enjoyed watching that because he truly, I'm speaking all this for him, but he truly enjoyed the time of getting to congratulate the kids and the hugs and the handshakes, and it's not something. I mean, I've seen that side of him. I knew that was part of him, but for the rest of the world, in my opinion, they got to see a side of Steve Bonham that some of them may not have known, because when he shows up at a sale, it's all business, and rightfully so. That's what he's supposed to be. I mean, when he's here, I want him to be business, and he doesn't have time to go through the crowd shaking hands, you know. Right. And I appreciated that part. I knew that part, but I feel like some of the public got to see a side of Steve Bonham that maybe they just haven't seen before.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. I think Jirl said it best. At the end of the day, there is a lot of folks that don't see that side of you, Steve. And I mean, and in reality, you are a dad of two awesome young men, and a wife, and all that stuff's important. I mean, one of my favorite stories, and I can't get what?
The wife was the key.
Yeah, well, that's no joke.
Hey, lucky her. Yeah.
When she got that shot collar on him, it all worked out all right.
Exactly. He kind of started like that picture in the background, little woolly and big horn, and she got him tuned up to where he could go win Denver. So
I just had to finally get one of those big Jim halters put on me.
Oh, man. Well, guys, thanks for taking the time. Congratulations to both of you, and we'll catch up with you later this summer.
Thanks a lot.
You bet.
Thank you.
Oh, those guys are something, aren't they?
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Lots. You know what you see there is respect.
Yeah. I wish I could have watched more of it. I got to watch some of it, but I wish I could have had a little more time to watch a little more of it, but they had fun. That's what, you know, that's.
Well, they did, yeah. And Steve, and Jirl mentioned about Steve enjoying those handshakes and slaps. His biggest smile. He's as much kid as anybody.
Yeah.
But it was cool. So, hey, we're gonna wrap this thing up. AC with segment 6, Cattlemen's for Christ, and I have it on my phone tonight. It's 2 Corinthians 9. It says, "Remember this: whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. Whoever sows generously will reap generously." It says, "Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion. God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in things and all times you will have what you need, as long as you sow good work." So just something to ponder on there for the week. AC, it's been fun.
It has been fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, you bet. Hey, it's probably a little early yet to spill the news about what our plans are for Cattle Drive and Hereford Junior Nationals, but all things go our direction.
You bet.
We're
We'll
going to
be
have
on the
a
Green
show.
Chips Monday night in Louisville. Two
Pre-game
Mondays.
show. That's right. Green Chips in Louisville. We are going Cattle Drive Live 2.0 thanks to Amy Cowan. So
Perfect.
anyway, hey, you have a good week and we will talk later on.
All right. Thanks, Brett.
Thanks, Amy.